Hey guys, welcome to week 1. I just wanted to touch base a little bit on my personal beliefs from the welcome video. I have always believed that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Stepping into this teaching role feels like a natural extension of that belief. Both my mother and my mother-in-law dedicated their careers to education, and I'm deeply honored to follow in their footsteps. I'm able to share my passion for design while helping others discover their own. And then there's my logo out to the side. All right off the bat, attendance. So this course is fully online and asynchronous through IvyOnline, meaning that there are no required live class meetings, but you must, sorry, give me a second. Dock it to the top. Okay. Um, but you are still required to show meaningful academic engagement, including but not limited to logging into the course regularly, at least several times per week, reviewing weekly lectures, readings, and instructional materials, submitting required assignments, quizzes, or projects by the posted deadlines, participating in discussion boards or other interactive course activities when assigned, and communicating with me when you guys have questions or concerns. Student attendance, please let me know if you would like or prefer a different name other than what is listed on IvyLearn. Good thing for you guys, I do offer extra credit in my course. There is a max of 10 points extra credit in the gradebook, just for weekly lectures. And then you guys will get 5 points extra credit for the end of course assessment. Also, if you guys have accommodations, please try to submit those request letters as soon as possible and get those sent to me so that I can accommodate you. Our syllabus. I hope that you guys should know where to find your syllabus. If not, I have a link here. So from our homepage, this is what you guys see. You can either select syllabus right here, or it is up in this top corner. Select it from that main page. Here is our syllabus. Make sure that you guys pay attention to withdrawal dates. Kind of what type of assignments we have in this course. Here is a breakdown of that. I do have you guys' extra credit in there as well. I do accept late work as well. And then this is a very important thing as well. Since you guys are fully online, AI is not permitted in my course, and you will receive a 0 on any coursework or project work that aligns with AI use. It is also a university regulation. It counts as plagiarism, and that's just not okay. It's a no-no. If you guys have any questions, you guys can inbox me through IvyLearn. Make sure to turn on your IvyLearn notifications. Here's my supervisor's information. His name is Alan. And then if you guys scroll down, you have every assignment with the due date and what time it's due. So yeah. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it or not. There we go. Sorry, I just like the full screen look. Okay, so we're gonna be setting up some accounts together so that you guys don't run into any roadblocks. The 3 main accounts that we're gonna be using for this course is Figma. Figma is a collaborative cloud-based design tool used primarily for creating user interfaces like websites, apps, and other digital products. We're going to be using Canva. It's used for creating a wide range of visual content, such as social media graphics, presentations, posters, videos, and documents. And then we're going to be using Miro. And Miro is used for remote collaboration, project management, and design by providing digital online whiteboards for teams or individuals to brainstorm, plan, and create. It is used for various tasks like running meetings or workshops, developing products, and solving problems through visual tools like sticky notes, diagrams, and templates. There's a little example up there of Miro. And then this one's Figma. So right off the bat, I've kind of created you guys a little tutorial on how to make your ideas come to life with Figma. You guys are going to start by Googling Figma and selecting the first option. Then there should be a black button in the top right-hand corner that says Get Started for Free. You want to click on that. And then this little pop-up page will appear. Make sure that you guys use your Ivy Tech email because you guys will be sharing workspaces with your peers and with your classmates throughout our course. And using your Ivy Tech email just keeps it all consolidated to one account. Then you're going to create your password. And then a little box will pop up that asks for your demographic question. Make sure that you guys select student for that. Moving on to Canva. You guys are going to Google Canva, and then under the Education tab, you're going to hit Student. Then this little beautiful page will pop up, and you guys are going to sign up for free. Don't worry about continuing with Google. Go ahead and continue with your email. Use your student email. I have mine here as an example. You guys can create your username. I always like to do my first initial and my last name so that when my peers are looking at my work throughout the course, they know whose work is who, and then it's easy to give feedback on your guys' work. Then you guys are going to get a special code that was sent to your Ivy Tech email, assuming that you guys use your Ivy Tech email for this. And then you're going to click on it and get the code. You're going to agree to the terms and conditions, and then it's going to ask some questions. So what will you guys will be using Canva for? And you're going to choose student. And then once you have reached this page, you are all done. Also, if you do already had Canva through another account and you guys pay for the pro, go ahead and use that. I want you guys to make another account. But you guys will be using the student free version, and there are other versions that allow like higher quality graphics, more templates, stuff like that, more ways to kind of get your ideas out there. And if you are interested in that, there is a trial version for the subscription. If you want to purchase it and unlock more tools, that's totally up to you. However, it's not required to do so. And then if you do want one or you're interested in a pro account, I do have one and I can answer whatever questions you guys have for that. Miro. Okay, so you guys are going to Google Miro and select the first option. You're going to go on the home page, and the top right-hand corner has a sign up for free button. This little box is going to pop up with your email. Don't worry about this Office 365. I know that our Ivy Tech emails are connected to Office 365, but just go ahead and type in your email and hit continue with email. You're going to be prompted to go to your email and get a special sign-in link. Make sure you do that. It's going to say log into my Miro account. And then it's going to ask for some information. So in the section that says tell us about your team, make sure you scroll through the boxes as they follow. So the first one is what is your team name? Make sure you type in VISC 104. What kind of work you do? Other, it's not really that important. Have you heard of Miro before? If you haven't, make sure you hit no, this is my first time. If you have, go ahead and select the answer that best fits your ability with Miro. What will you use Miro for? Education. What is your role? Individual contributor. What is your company size? It's only you, but unfortunately they don't have an individual size for you guys to select. So 2 to 50. And then how did you hear about Miro? Select other and then hit continue. Okay, we're not going to be doing a lot in the Adobe Creative Cloud, but I just want to make sure that you guys have access to that. This is for the visual communication students. They should have access to that. If you do not have access to that, please shoot me an email and I can give you the proper steps into signing up or getting into that. So you guys are going to Google your Adobe Creative Cloud and select the first option. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to click sign in. This is very specific to your Ivy Tech email, so make sure that you guys sign in with your Ivy Tech email and hit continue. And then it's going to prompt you for your password. And then you're going to get this web page that's going to show up. And you don't want to click on anything. And then you want to come over here to this little drop-down menu, and you're going to select the second icon that says apps. After clicking the apps, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, depending on what your guys' page looks like, and you're going to hit download on Creative Cloud. You want to save it to your desktop for it's easy to access. And then you're going to find this icon on your desktop and you're going to click it. And when you click it, it's going to make you sign in again, but that's okay. You're going to be directed to this page where you type in your Ivy Tech email, and then you're going to be redirected to the Ivy Tech email webpage. You're going to sign in through there, and you should be good to go. Now, why we're downloading the Creative Cloud instead of every single application is because I don't want you guys to take up room on your guys' computers. There are huge files that are required for this, and it just takes up a lot of space, and it's not really, I wouldn't say worth it because it is worth it. But if you just download the Creative Cloud, then you're able to open up all of these applications without them physically being on your computer. And then the easiest way to do this is just to download it or pin it to your taskbar. So what is user experience design? User experience design is the process of enhancing user satisfaction by improving the usability, accessibility, and overall pleasure provided in interaction between a user and a product. This usually involves understanding how users think, behave, and feel when engaging with a system, whether that system is a website, a mobile app, a software platform, or even a physical device. In essence, though, UX design focuses on the human side of things, ensuring that products are not only functional, but also intuitive and delightful to use. The ultimate goal is to design experiences that solve real-world problems while aligning both the user's needs and business objectives. So, a user experience design process. It's iterative and user-centered. There's emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, test, implement, and evaluate. And this is the process that you're going to be using every single day. UX design has key components: user research, information architecture, interaction design, usability, prototyping and wireframing, accessibility, and collaboration. UX design stands for user experience design, and it represents a blend of psychology, technology, design, and strategy. It is the art and science of shaping how users interact and perceive a product. At its heart, UX design is about empathy, really understanding people, anticipating their needs, and designing experiences that make their lives better, easier, and more meaningful. I have a short little video for you guys to really understand what the role of a user experience designer is. But in Keynote, a UX designer acts as an advocate for the user throughout the product development cycle. They collaborate with stakeholders, developers, UI designers, and product managers to ensure that every decision aligns with their user needs and business goals. Their toolkit includes software such as Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch, and Miro, as well as research methods, design systems, and accessibility guidelines. Let's take a look of D.
What does a UX designer actually do? In this video, we're going to look at the skills and attributes of a UX designer, some of the tasks and responsibilities that they have every day, and we're going to look at some real job ads to see what companies are hiring for when they're looking for UX designers. My name's Dee, and I've worked as a UX designer for over 12 years. I've worked in huge companies and small startups in different countries all around the world. So I'd really love to share my insights with you about what it really feels like to be a UX designer. Before we get started, if you have any questions about any of the skills or attributes mentioned in this video, let us know in the comments below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. The kind of person that makes a great UX designer is someone who loves problem solving and has a really inquisitive and curious mind. A UX designer should really love understanding why people do what they do. and what's behind their motivations and behavior. So if you really like to understand people and have a desire to make life easier and better, then UX design could be right for you. It's a primarily people-focused role. You'll find yourself working with lots of other teams, with business people, with developers, and with visual designers, conducting research, running workshops, analyzing data, running tests and experiments, and doing a lot of communication with presentations and creating diagrams so that other people can understand the kind of work that you do. And you'll also act as the connection between the users or the customers of your product and the business. You'll be doing things like preparing before research actually happens, writing up interview guidelines and scripts, and creating documents that outline how research should be conducted. As well as that, you'll actually be conducting the research. So interviewing people in person or remotely and taking lots of detailed notes. After research, there's lots of information that's been gathered. So you'll be analyzing that information to understand its meaning, doing things like looking at spreadsheets and organizing data, using tools to identify trends and patterns in that data, creating reports and presentations to present that complex information to other people. Running workshops is an important skill for a UX designer because you'll need to get groups and teams of people from different areas of the business to do things like generate ideas and understand and align on where the focus should be. You'll also do things like create wireframes, which are detailed structural sketches that illustrate a concept. A wireframe for a digital product is similar to a blueprint for a house. It clearly illustrates how it functions and the core elements of its design. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what a UX designer really does every day. Now let's look at some.
We're going to stop it there. If you guys would like to hear more from Dee, I will post the video link in the Module 1 learning activities. So what is UI design? We talked about UX design, but what is UI design? User interface, also known as UI design, is the process of designing the look, feel, and interactivity of a digital product. It determines how users visually engage with software, websites, apps, or devices, while UX design focuses on the overall experience and flow. UI design focuses on the presentation and functionality of each screen or page, ensuring that every visual element communicates effectively and enhances usability. A well-designed interface doesn't just look appealing, it guides the user seamlessly through a digital journey, creating a balance between aesthetic appeal and intuitive usability. And then I have a little bit about what UX design's purpose is. Core elements. Sorry, I gotta move my little Zoom person here. The core elements of UI design are layout and composition, typography, color theory, imagery and iconography, interactive elements, consistency in design systems, and accessibility and inclusivity. Modern UI designers look at tools such as Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD, Photoshop, Illustrator, and an application called Framer. They also apply knowledge of color theory, grid systems, visual hierarchy, accessibility standards. Increasingly, though, UI designers are expected to understand responsive design principles, ensuring that interfaces adapt to different devices and screen sizes. The broader importance of UI design. So every shape, color, and animation sends a message of how shapes both users perceive and how they see brands. Well-designed interfaces create trust, reduce frustration, and elevate user satisfaction. A poor UI, on the other hand, can make a functional product feel unusable and very frustrating. UI design is more than just the aesthetics, though. It's the communication design. Every color, shape, and animation sends a message and shapes on how users perceive a brand. So I have an example up there of dark blue, light green, and yellow. UI design, user interface design, is the craft of shaping the visual and interactive identity of digital products. It combines art, psychology, and technology to create intuitive, accessible, and beautiful interfaces. Sorry. Okay, so what is the relationship between UX and UI design? While UX focuses on the product works, UI focuses on how it looks and feels. They are inseparable partners in the design process. UX defines the structure, flow, and functionality, while UI design gives the structure, visual form, and interactivity. A great UX can fail without a good UI, and vice versa. Together, they create experiences that are not only efficient, but also visually engaging and emotionally satisfying. Have a beautiful video for you guys on learning Figma and how to use it.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jesse Showalter, and I'm really excited because today we're taking a look at an amazing piece of design software. It's great for collaborating and prototyping and designing, perfect for web designers and UI designers and people who want to do digital design of all sorts. That's right. Today, we're taking a look at Figma. This video is all about getting up and running with the basics of Figma. So some of those basic design tools, a tool around the interface, as well as some of the key features of Figma, like collaborating and prototyping and all that good stuff. This would be a great video for people who've heard of Figma, but haven't taken the time to dig in and find out if it's the right fit for them. With all that being said, let's get started. Okay, so jumping right in, taking a look at the screen, I'm at figma.com, and that's where you would go to check out Figma, to download it, to see all the features that it has. But really right here, it says it all. You can design, prototype, and gather feedback all in one place with Figma. It's available online, on Windows, on Mac, on Linux, on everywhere, because it really, in the end, is a browser-based software. And because it's browser-based, I think that's what opens it up to be a platform that allows you to do so much, because the browser can do so much. A lot of people have called Figma the Google Drive of design tools. I can get down with that. That's definitely a piece of it, but there's so much more when it comes to collaborating and working together. So after you've downloaded, you can just open up Figma like so. And this is the exact same way it'll look in the browser. It's the same way that it looks when you download the application. First things first, this is the dashboard. This is where you'll be able to see all of your recent projects. I have a few test projects in here. If you drop down on your name here, you'd be able to see your account settings and sign out. You'd also be able to see drafts and any deleted files. Any shared projects that are shared to you, so you can actually have access. And then also you have your different teams. We're not going to go too much into the team thing today, but that is definitely out there and available. Up at the top, you can see I have the ability to create a new file, but I also have the ability to import a file.
So I'm going to stop it there. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time right off the bat, but I'll also link this video as well. We're moving on to Canva. Again, I'm just going to show a little snippet of it so you guys can watch on your own time as well.
Hi, it's Aurelius. In this video, you're going to master Canva in just minutes. I'm going to walk you through the basics and also some cool tips and tricks so that you can start designing right away. Okay, to get started, make sure you have a Canva account. Link will be in the description box below. Once in, you'll land on your Canva homepage. Now, because I've already used my Canva account, you'll see recent designs, and that's where all your recent designs will be placed. And don't get overwhelmed with all the menus and all the options that you have. There's actually not much that you need to play around on your homepage. The very first thing that you can do to start your first design is to search for a template that you want to start with. You can do that, or you can start from scratch. So for instance, if you want to create a presentation, all you need to do is head to the search bar, which is probably going to be your best friend. You want to search for things instead of browsing through things. Let's say you want to search for presentation. You simply search for presentation, and usually what's indicated with icons, that indicates that Canva has templates related to presentations. Now, you'll see differences. You've got 16:9 and 4:3. This just shows you the dimensions of the presentation. If we click on this one, the presentation 6:9, that'll take you to the list and the library of presentation templates, as you can see. And from here, you're free to browse through the templates that's listed, or you can go here, use the filters. You can choose the style, the theme, and there's also the academic levels and subjects, topics, and also colors if you're looking for a specific color.
I'm going to pause it right there for you guys. Oh, and I am using Canva, by the way, if it looked familiar for our weekly recordings. Here's a little bit about Miro.
My name is Madison, and I'm going to teach you how to use Miro. In the next few minutes, we'll review what you'll need to be an effective participant in your upcoming event. By the end of this video, you will know what Miro is, how to move around the space, and how to add thoughts and ideas. So let's answer the biggest question first. What is Miro? Simply put, Miro is a collaboration platform that allows you to work with others online. Working in Miro helps people express ideas, solve problems, and provide insightful feedback. Okay, let me introduce you to a Miro board. Everything in Miro happens on boards. Boards start off empty, and then objects like stickies, shapes, and lines get added to build something unique and exciting, like this workshop. Think of boards like rooms, where you enter in and work with others. What's cool about Miro is that the board is infinite. You can push and pull yourself in any direction without ever finding the edges. So let's talk about how you'll navigate this space. When using your mouse, hold down the right button and click and pull across the board. See how I can click and pull myself to a new area? Zoom in and out by scrolling on the mouse wheel. If you want to use your trackpad, drag 2 fingers across the trackpad to move around the board. To zoom, pinch like you would on a smartphone or tablet. Miro will automatically know if you're using a mouse or trackpad, but you can switch between these 2 modes in the navigation settings under Preferences. If you're moving around and happen to find yourself on a part of the board you didn't intend, there are a few easy and quick ways to reorient yourself. Press Command or Control-1 to center the content on the board, or click the host avatar on the top of the screen to join back in on collaborating. Okay, moving right along. Add thoughts and ideas to a board using sticky notes and comments. Create a sticky note by clicking the sticky icon. Then, click anywhere on the board to place it and immediately start typing. Add comments by clicking the comments icon and dropping it on the board. Once you're done typing, press Enter to leave the comment. Click and drag any of these objects to move them around the board. In Miro, there are fun, visual ways to show what's on your mind. Click on the reactions icon and choose one of the reactions that matches how you're feeling, and then watch it appear at the bottom of the screen. Or you can add sticky and emojis. Click on the icon and then choose which one you want to drag on the board. So the next time you want to share how you feel or what you think, add a sticker or reaction to visually show your opinion. You are now ready for your first Miro experience. Happy collaborating.
Right, all right. All right, due dates. So for this semester, our due dates are going to be Fridays, 11:59 p.m. and Mondays, 11:59 p.m. Common questions I get are, do you allow extensions? Yes, I do allow extensions. Just please message me at least 24 hours in advance at the latest. Missed due date, late work, I will ping you guys in the notifications through IvyLearn as a reminder that something is due if I haven't seen that you guys have turned it in. And I do allow late work. I just take off a little bit of a percentage. This is what your guys' week 1 will look like. The learning materials, introductions. I know you guys are like, why do I have to do introductions? But I promise it's important because it keeps your spot in the class. It's something that every class has, and it reserves your guys a spot. And then you have your module 1 quiz. That's not that terrible or hard. And then you have your discussion board against UX ethics. Make sure you reply to at least 2 of your peers. And then you have your heuristic evaluation. Exploring module 1. So what is a Norman door? Have you ever pushed on a door that didn't open and then found out that you're supposed to pull it? Was it a flawed design of a door handle? This is sometimes called a Norman door, named after Don Norman, the author of The Design of Everyday Things. A Norman door is a door where the design tells you to do the opposite of what you're actually supposed to do, or it gives the wrong signal and needs a sign to correct it. If this has happened to you, you must have had a poor user experience with the Norman door. User experience is how a user experiences a product, system, or service. This first module introduces UX design, explains the difference between UX and user interface design, and introduces usability, the design of everyday things. That is a recommendation for a book if you guys are interested in it, and it aligns very, very well with our class. I have a funny video for you guys. But if this content interests you, also check out the podcast 99% Invisible, hosted by Roman Mars, which is the narrator of this video below. It is a weekly exploration of the process and the power of design and architecture. Just a keynote, this video does contain some language that could be offensive to some people. And then after the video, there is an extra credit question off to the side. For extra credit questions, just make sure that you guys kind of put an entry in the comments below this video, because it's going to be in the announcements for every single week. So just title it Norman door if you would like to answer it. Did you learn anything new? Maybe spark an idea on fixing a common UX design flaw, or did you want to share something embarrassing, like a story with your experience up of Norman door?
There's this door on the 10th floor of the Vox Media office that I hate so much.
Damn it.
You ever get this door wrong?
Pretty regularly.
Have you seen people misuse it?
All the time, every day. Constantly. I hate this door.
Me too, Kelsey. But here's the thing. As soon as you start looking for confusing doors, they are everywhere.
It's push.
Why?
I feel like Roman Mars would know about this.
This is 99% invisible. And those doors you hate are called Norman door.
What's a Norman door?
Don Norman wrote the essential book about design. He is the Norman of the Norman door.
All right, and where is this guy?
You must go to San Diego.
Okay.
Hi, Joe. Hey, I'm Don Norman. Gee, it's hard to describe what I am.
Well, he's been a professor of psychology, professor of cognitive science, professor of computer science, a vice president of advanced technology at Apple. But for our purposes,
I was spending a year in England. I got so frustrated with my inability to use the light switches and the water taps and the doors even, that I wrote this book.
If I continually get a door wrong, is it my fault?
No. In fact, if you continually get it wrong, it's a good, but if other people continually get it wrong, good sign that it's a really bad door.
a Norman door is one where the design tells you to do the opposite of what you're actually supposed to do, or gives the wrong signal and needs a sign to correct it.
Why does it need an instruction manual? That is, why do you have to have a sign that says push or pull? Why not make it obvious?
It can be obvious if it's designed right.
There are a couple of really simple, basic principles of design, and one of them I'll call discoverability. When I look at something, I should be able to discover what operations I can do.
The principle applies to a whole lot more than doors.
And it's amazing with many of our computer systems today. You look at it, there's no way of knowing what's possible. Should I tap it once or twice or even triple tap? So discoverability, when it's not there, well, you don't know how to use something.
Another is feedback.
And so many times there's no feedback. You have no idea what happened or why it happened.
And these principles form the basis of how designers and engineers work today, commonly known as user or human-centered design.
I decided at one point the word user was a bit degrading. Why not call people people? And it's amazingly simple and amazingly seldom practiced. We call it iterative because it sort of goes around in a circle. We go out and we observe what is happening today. We observe people doing the task. And from that, we say, oh, we have some ideas. Here's what we should perhaps propose to do.
Then you prototype your solution and test it.
Quite often, these are wrong at first. But each time we go around the circle, we do a better job of making the device until the point we're actually making something that really works.
And this process has spread all over the world.
And it turns out it's improving lives.
From better everyday things like the ones that Don wrote about,
using the same process to solve huge problems in public health in developing countries.
Water,
Sanitation,
farming.
lots more. So what'd be a better human-centered door?
An ideal door is one that as I walk up to it and walk through it, I'm not even aware that I had opened the door and shuttered. So if you had a door which had a flat plate, what could you do? Nothing. The only thing you can do is push. See, you wouldn't need a sign. Flat plate, you push.
This kind of push bar with the piece sticking out on one side works well too. So you can see what side you're supposed to push on.
Vertical bars could go either way. A simple little hand thing, though, sort of indicates old.
But we still have terrible, terrible doors in the world. So many of them.
There are lots of things in life that are fairly standardized, and therefore, whether I buy this house or not is not a function of whether it has good doors in it. And so, except for safety reasons, doors tend not to be improved.
But the tyranny of bad doors must end.
I think that it's a really design, like they put pull handle when it's a push. Well, it should be a flat panel right here. And not a pull handle. That's how I feel about this. It's very misleading.
I agree.
You're right, Becky. You're goddamn right. If we all thought like you, well, we might just design a better world soon.
It won't open because it's a security door.
What the f are you two doing?
Hey, so as you can see, since I started making this video.
Right. I love that video. I've watched it so many times. All right, our week 1 learning goals. So learning goals are written to support the completion of the learning course objectives as given in the syllabus. Learning goals often reflect smaller steps that function to support the larger course objectives for your convenience. We're going to describe, appreciate, and apply the history, development, and standards of experience, both with user interface design with UX and UI. We're going to be able to understand and describe the use of UX and UI terminology. We're going to compare and contrast user experience and user interface. We're going to demonstrate an understanding of various methods used in those fields. And we're also going to be able to identify usability errors, such as the Norman door. Through various assignments, we're going to be communicating our research, analysis scenarios, etc., which show comprehension of the end user's needs. We're going to understand Jacob Nielsen's 10 usability heuristics. And then we're going to evaluate peer and professional work critically through interactive product systems. So, when choosing your user, you must create a persona. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of personas or not, but a persona is a fictional representation of a target audience or a specific user group. Doesn't have to be just one person, but usually a persona is one person, and then you create others. It is used to represent a user type in product design, marketing, and other fields. So your question might be, why are personas important and vital in UX? Well, the answer is it helps the designer understand and emphasize with their target audience, like who are you designing for, leading to a better product design, more effective marketing, and a stronger focus on the user's needs. It keeps your users' information safe from other people, and it makes sure that you never really actually use their real name or a picture of them. Just remember that there are free stock images that can be used. I gave an example on the screen. So for his persona, I would write down his job title, career, demographic information, age, his top 3 concerns with whatever project I'm trying to create, his top 3 desires for my project, the project and personal goals that he may have as a user, and then a journey map. So in order to create a persona, you must first conduct user research through interviews. Next, you're going to analyze the data to find patterns and create distinctive user segments based on common behaviors and goals, and something else called pain points. It's like their frustrations. And then finally, you're going to synthesize all of these segments into one detailed fictional persona, or personas if you have more than one user, with a name, photo, and relevant details such as demographics, motivations, behavioral patterns to serve as a reference for design decisions. This is one of my favorite videos, but it's just a review of what UX and UI is. Even though they are both highly related, it's super important to remember that there are differences between them, and it can get a little bit confusing. I also have another extra credit opportunity off here to the side. Just make sure you put it down in the comments section. You can put, cake, UX, and UI. But another one is, can you give another example of UX and UI like the video explained cake?
Our field is known for having confusing terms. Words or acronyms that sound similar and are related, but at the core mean different things. While subtle, these differences are important. The most common of these is the name of our field, user experience UX versus user interface UI. What's the difference? Let's start with user experience UX. User experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, its products. This means identifying and designing a solution that meets the needs of our users, regardless of medium, without fuss or bother. To do this, we must consider all aspects of the user's experience, from having the right information to ease of use to quick and concise customer help. This usually means collaborating across departments and merging the services of multiple disciplines: engineering, marketing, graphic, or industrial design. Now let's distinguish between this total user experience, UX, from what specifically the user sees, the user interface, UI. User interface refers to the specific visual touch point or asset the user interacts with. Think the look, the feel, the interactivity of a digital product. UI is the cosmetics of the experience: typography, color, spacing, grids, icons, buttons. Now, of course, UI, how something looks or feels, plays a big role in UX. So let's think about it this way. Take a look at these 3 different cakes. Each has a different user interface. What you see, the icing, the shape, the decoration, this is all UI, the presentation. It's the look and the feel, even the visible cues or suggestions for interaction, like these dollops that insinuate 1 per slice, so 6 slices per this cake. If I turn each of these around and we take a look at the inside, this is our UX. It's the cake itself. It's the core of the experience. Whether or not the cake tastes good, delivers on expectations or needs, is fully baked, and then the quality of the ingredients. Now, UX and UI go hand in hand. As a UX designer conducts research, identifies the user's core needs, creates task flows, and works through prototypes, a UI designer may compose layouts, create a visual system, and build mock-ups. A cake would look naked without the icing, and the icing has no purpose without the cake.
Oh, that's the end of it. So if you guys have any type of example that you guys want to give, make sure you guys put it in the comments and just put cake next to it. All right, your guys' heuristic evaluation. So you guys are going to choose an iterative application, whether that's an app, a website to evaluate. If there is an app or a website you already use that has a known issue, that would be a good selection for this assignment. The app that you're going to be evaluating has to have at least 3 usability problems. So if you complete an evaluation on a system and find no usability problems, you're going to have to find another system. I have our assignment guidelines there. What is a heuristic evaluation? Well, a heuristic evaluation is a usability inspection method where experts review an interface against a set of established usability principles, also known as heuristics, to identify potential design problems. I have a little example of what your guys' template looks like. And then I also have a link here that I will post. But it is under assignments inside your guys' heuristic evaluation. A few examples from students who have done this project already. They did Amazon, they did Temu, they did Shein, stuff like, I think someone did like the PlayStation Store, stuff like that. So the 10 usability heuristics. Jacob Nielsen's 10 usability heuristics are general principles for user interface design, UI, that helps ensure a product is easy to use. They are visibility of system status, match between the system and the real world, user control and freedom, consistency and standards, error prevention recognition rather than recall, flexibility and efficiency of use, aesthetic and minimalistic design, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. And then the last one is help and documentation. All of these together are important because they do provide a framework for evaluating and providing products usability, which leads to a better user experience. I also have another little extra credit thing off here to the side. If you can list or give an example of how either one or multiple usability heuristics are used on a product that we use every day. I just want to kind of see where you guys are at with that, other than the light system. All right, I have a video here about kind of what a heuristic evaluation should look like and what it should include.
Let's go through 4 steps to evaluate a digital product's user experience by conducting a heuristic evaluation using Jacob Nielsen's 10 usability heuristics. If you aren't familiar with heuristic evaluations or this particular set of heuristics, you might want to pause and learn about those first. Watch Jacob explain what a heuristic evaluation is, or read about his set of 10 heuristics here. The first step is to decide who you'll conduct your heuristic evaluation with. It's fine to do a heuristic evaluation on your own if it's just for practice. But if you're truly looking to identify design problems, it's best to do that with a group of people. That's because a single person, no matter how experienced, is likely to miss some of the potential problems. Ideally, you'll want 3 to 5 people to each evaluate the design independently. Later, you'll share your evaluations with each other. Next, decide how you'll document your evaluation. You could capture your observations with just about anything: simple pen and paper, a spreadsheet, or a digital whiteboard tool like Miro. Alternatively, we've designed a simple free workbook to make heuristic evaluations as easy as possible. So feel free to use that as well. The next step is to evaluate independently. In this step, each team member conducts an independent evaluation of the interface on their own. Start the evaluation by moving through the interface as if you're a user trying to complete a task. If you aren't already familiar with this product, go through the task once just to learn the system without attempting to evaluate anything. So let's consider a simple clothing e-commerce site. I'll show a drawn representation of an e-commerce site, but try to imagine that it's a live finished product. If I'm evaluating this design, here's how I might label my workbook. I'm assessing the mobile site, and I'm considering shoppers who are trying to complete the task of buying a shirt. So first, I'm going to walk through the process of finding a shirt to buy as if I'm shopping on the site. Once you feel comfortable with the product, go back through the task a second time. In the second pass, look for design elements, features, or decisions that violate one of the 10 heuristics. In other words, they don't achieve that goal or follow that guideline. If you're using our heuristic evaluation template, those will be the things that you write down in the appropriate issues section. For example, one of the 10 heuristics is aesthetic and minimalist design. That's number 8. This heuristic recommends that the visual design of interfaces should direct users' attention and help them achieve their goals. The product should not feel visually overwhelming or distracting. So when I identify any problems related to this particular heuristic, I can note them in the issues section. This e-commerce site's listing pages layer the product details like the name, price, and discount directly on top of the product images. As a result, the page feels cluttered and the text is difficult to read. This is an example of how the visual design fails to support the user's task, choosing and buying a shirt. In the heuristic evaluation workbook, we might write something like, text overlaps with product images on listing pages in the issues column for heuristic.
I'm going to pause it real quick. I know you guys are like deep into it. On your guys' heuristic evaluation template, make sure that you guys are as detailed as you can be, because you have to remember someone designed this, and if you're going to point out an issue, you better have evidence to back it up. So this right here is about a good portion of the length. Just try to be reasonable on how much information that you guys provide.
Stick number 8. If a recommendation for a fix comes to mind, you can note that in the second column under recommendations. For example, improve product detail visibility. Maybe add a solid or semi-opaque background behind the text. Finally, the last step is to consolidate the issues that you and your teammates identified. Once all of your team members have performed their independent evaluations, it's time to synthesize the issues. Affinity diagramming on a physical or virtual whiteboard can work well. This is all about aligning on which issues seem the most detrimental and problematic, and then deciding how you'll take steps to fix them. And that's it. These 4 steps might seem deceptively simple, but this can actually take some time before you get the hang of it. Don't worry, just keep practicing.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos,
We'll stop right there. All right, so you guys, this module 1 discussion about UX ethics. You guys need to think about something that you guys have found to violate some kind of ethical principle. Usually this is poor user experience, but it does not have to involve technology. However, it can. So there is some supportive material there. Dark patterns in UX. It's a very short read, but it is very important. Looking ahead, so next week, preparing for next week's discussion by thinking about websites that you guys find to be user-friendly and websites that you guys find to be frustrating. Next week's module, you guys are going to have a cognitive walkthrough assignment that will require you to find a user to observe. Plan to schedule about 60 to 90 minutes with your user to complete this assignment. It can either be in person or on Zoom. But it is key to try to have them in the same room with you if you can, because then you're going to be able to pick up on visual cues, body language, stuff like that. And then if you would like to perform a cognitive walkthrough on the same interactive system, whether it's the app or a website that you use for the heuristic evaluation, you can, but your user should not be familiar with it. So you guys gotta choose someone who has no idea about what you guys are testing. If you want, or if you need to use a different interactive system next week, start trying to find another one that has some usability issues. Citations, these will be huge going towards the project part of your guys' course. I just want to show a short video on how to do APA citations. And then I do also want to give a little shout out. So if you guys don't want to manually create them, there is a shortcut way by using the APA citation machine generator, and it makes your API citations for you. It can even collect data offline, whether who the author is, the date, the publication info, how many versions there are, stuff like that. And then if you create like your own page project within the citation machine, it will actually alphabetical-tize your citations for you. And then all you have to do is copy and paste them onto your own document or discussion board assignment, stuff like that.
when you use the information and perspectives you found in other sources, citations give credit to the ideas of others and make you a more credible author. They can also help your readers find the same sources again. Citation styles are guidelines and conventions that different disciplines follow to present writing and sources in a consistent way. APA style, from the American Psychological Association, is a common citation style used in the sciences and social sciences. There are 2 main components of a citation. First, when you reference another source, include an in-text citation in the body of your paper. In APA style, this citation includes the author's last name or organization, comma, and the year in parentheses. If there are more than 3 authors, include the first author's last name, then use the abbreviation et al., which means and others. Then, include a complete citation in the reference list at the end of your paper. Your in-text and reference list citations should match. A reference list citation typically includes the author, the date, the title of the work, and the source, or information about where you can get it, including any URLs or other links. Each part is separated with a period. In the reference list, use a hanging indent and organize your references alphabetically by author's last name. This helps your readers skim through the list to find the reference for an in-text citation. Reference list citations vary based on the type of source you're citing and the information available. Use the official style manual or an online citation guide to check which details about the source you should include. Let's take a look at one example. In college, you'll probably be citing a lot of academic journal articles.
Yep.
First, include the last names and initials of the authors. Use the ampersand sign for and before the last author. Then include the year the article was published in parentheses. Next, include the title of the article in sentence case. This means only the first word of the title and subtitle and any proper nouns are capitalized. After that, include the academic journal where the article was published in italics. Academic journals publish collections of articles throughout the year. A journal might have a volume for each year and publish a new issue every few months. Separate the journal and the volume with a comma and italicize the volume number too. If there's an issue number, include that in parentheses and add the page range. Finally, include the DOI, or Digital Object Identifier, if it's available. This is a direct link to the article on the publisher's site. Formatting citations and your paper can require some attention to detail. If you're not sure how to cite a source using APA style, ask a librarian.
All right, so that should have given you guys a refresher. I'm not sure what other kind of citation formats you guys have used in the past, but we use APA. And then last but not least, thank you for your guys' time today. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to respond to the video in the comment section. Maybe your questions can clarify confusion for your peers. Or you guys could send me a message on IvyLearn. Thank you guys.